Hello and welcome to
Fitbaw Review.
Fitbaw Review.
Fitbaw
I nearly
Review.
forgot the name there, surprisingly.
Can never forget our name.
Yes. And the number one Scottish football podcast there ever will be, never was.
Exactly.
Well, I'm here today joined with my good friend and co-host, Philly, or known as Matthew.
Yeah, very excited to be here.
Now,
Can't wait to get started.
I know it's your favourite time of the year, Philly. It ain't Christmas, it ain't Thanksgiving, even though we're not in America. Because, anyway, it's prediction time.
Predictions. Love a wee predictions, me.
Yes. I know. Usually, how are you feeling? Confident?
Gotta be confident.
Yes.
Gotta be confident.
I wouldn't be confident with your predictions. I've seen them. Anyway. So, how you been, my friend?
Been very good. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad. Getting in there. Preparing for this first episode. Anyway, let's just jump straight into it. Let's just go for league predictions.
We'll start from the bottom.
I reckon
12th place.
12th place.
Who have you gone with?
I'll go with St Johnstone.
So have I.
Oh,
Any reasoning for that?
well, they've added a couple of players, like Jimmy Murphy, Drew Wright, Adam Montgomery. You know, experienced heads. Also last season, playing in the playoffs.
In the Championship, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, well that's.
Yeah, I mean, I've got them 12 based off the facts. I don't think their squad's good enough to stay up. You know, you think they did only get playoffs last year.
That's true, and
They didn't look good. Obviously, the second game they won 4-0. However, I didn't think they looked really good in the football they were playing. Obviously, coming off the season prior when they won, obviously the two cups went straight down, and then can they bounce back up and stay up? For me personally, I don't think so. I think they're going straight back down.
I think it's quite surprising. I think no one predicted that last season. You know, obviously
true.
the two cups and Europe playing against Galatasaray at home, nearly beating them, nearly close, but
Yep.
no cigar, I guess. Anyway, that's who we've got. Who you got? 11, my friend.
I've got St Mirren.
St Mirren.
A wee surprise one in there. I just feel like they're underwhelming this year. I don't think too many of their, new signings. They've lost a few people. I don't think they're going to be impressive enough to stay up. I
Well-
feel like it's a wee out there one. People might think 7th, 8th, 9th, but I think they're going 11th and they're going to go down.
Go down.
I don't know who's coming up through playoffs in the Championship. I feel like they're going to go
Could be a
down.
mighty part this one.
Who knows?
Who knows? But well, they've had the likes of Declan Gallagher, Trevor Carson from Dundee United on a free. You know, quality players, but they've lost lots of people like Jan Alwick.
Yeah, the number one man in the sticks.
That was true. Lots of saves he's pulled off the years and a lot of memorable moments for the Saints.
A player I quite rate as well, Conor McCarthy. I feel like he's always done well for St Mirren.
Yeah.
Whenever he's playing Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, these bigger teams in the league, I feel like he's alright. He's not too bad. You know, he's playing in a system. When under Jim Goodwin, they were playing quite good football, but
Yeah.
obviously he's away. I don't think they're going to stay up.
Yeah. Well, I've got Ross County. Maybe a surprise to some, but I just reckon they've added a lot of players. Are they quality players? Yet to be seen.
I feel like they're just bringing them in for the numbers' sake. Obviously, they
I-
lost Charles Cook, Humbo, both fullbacks, Ramsey and Hopkins. I feel like that's what they did very well last season.
Yeah, and I think they're going to lose a lot. They're losing a lot of goals, which Regan Charles Cook kind of won for himself.
Yeah.
Also got 13 goals last season. Joint top goal scorer with Giamakis.
Georgios Yakimakis, indeed.
Yes. Which
Sexy Greek god.
some people might say that. Some people might say not. Well, let's see who got 10th.
For me, I've got Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock. Interesting.
Some people, I've actually seen some people put them a wee bit higher up.
Well, yes.
Some people think they're going to go straight back down and bottom, but I think they're just going to survive. I feel like it's going to be a really exciting bottom three this year for what I predicted in St Johnstone, St Mirren and Kilmarnock. I feel like they're going to go back and forward, just promoted. I feel like they're going to bounce on the back of it. You were at the game
Yes,
a few days ago with Partick Thistle. You've seen the football.
Well, let's just say Partick Thistle, the second half, Partick Thistle looked very strong, which isn't what you want for a Kilmarnock, but the manager did say after the game that he's looking for new signings. He hasn't really been given too many so far, but yeah, I reckon. Well, I've got them. As you later find out, but in my 10th. I've got St Mirren, obviously. Touched on them a wee bit.
So not too far from me, yeah.
Yeah, I just think they're just going to lack. It's just going to be another mess season for them. They're not good enough for top 6, but they're not bad enough to get relegated. They're just going to be just there. Well, let's jump into your 9th.
In 9th place for me, I've got Ross County.
Ross County.
Controversial one, you could say, based off of last season, where they finished, but they finished in that position mainly due to Charles Cook, Humbo. As I've said, they're away, they've lost goals, they might not be as exciting in the football.
Well,
They are on occasion sometimes hard to break down, but I feel like it could struggle, and I've got them 9th. I feel like they will stay up, but they won't have the best of season.
yeah, I've got Kilmarnock, controversially, which I'm kind of regretting now seeing them play in real life. The only thing that club's got going for them is the Kelly Pies. They are very good.
They are very good, Killie Pies.
Well, yeah, I think they'll. Maybe I think at the start of the season I was more confident, but seeing the recent games, they just looking meh. I think Kelly Lafferty's going to have a good season, I reckon.
Yeah, they've lost their experienced head in Chris Buck. Been there for so many seasons.
Has retired.
Done a good job.
He did retire.
And he's away from them now.
Yes.
Who have you got in 8th?
8th, I've got Livingston.
I also have Livingston.
Oh, that's great minutes I like it, you would say. Well, they've lost a couple of players, but they've signed interesting players. Well, obviously losing out on Jim at Alan Forrest.
Yep, no Hearts signing.
Yeah, that is true.
Good signing for Hearts, I think.
Yeah, they signed Jamie Brandon from Hearts, the right back.
Seen him play over the years. He's been quite good. He's not really got his feet in the Hearts team properly, but over the years he's kind of a progressing fullback. However, he can go in for a tackle. That suits Livingston down to a T. And I feel like why I've got them in the 8th is those games against Celtic Rangers, we struggle with them.
Yeah.
Especially Celtic, all they took is this season. Previous seasons we've struggled to beat them, especially at their ground.
There's a wee mini fortress you could say over there.
And if they win those games against the lower teams in St Johnstone, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Ross County, I think there'll be a good enough space to stay comfortably up in 8th.
Yeah, well, they got a good manager over there. So I think they might be a bit disappointed with 8th. I thought at the start of the season they might push up for the top 6, but seeing the quality that the other teams have added, I've gone down 8th. Well, who you got 7th?
I've got Motherwell.
Motherwell,
she's fine, thanks. For me, it's just Motherwell. They're not really up there. They're not really down there. They might have a poor season, but
they've got obviously Europe this year.
Yeah, I feel like that might distract them in some ways for league form. They don't have obviously a massive squad like the higher teams in the league, Celtic, Rangers.
They've lost a couple of people, but they've added a couple like Paul McGinn and Blair Spittle. Could say a bit of squad players. I think Paul McGinn might have a good season. Obviously, he was at Hibs the season before. It's a bit of quality, it's adding quality to the team.
Yeah, they've not really bought too many players or brought any in. Not a lot's left.
Obviously, they got Kevin Van Veen, who smashed it last season for them.
I feel like he'll do well in Europe. The style they play, he's got a
There's
good
been a lot of
play,
interest.
move into channels.
Yeah. Well, I saw an interview with saying that they've had a lot of interest from him, but they've rejected bids from teams in the Netherlands and stuff like that. So I think he'll stay, have a good season, and he might look to move on, or maybe teams in the SPFL might look to try and sign him. Also, they've obviously fixed the pitch.
Indeed.
Hopefully that will help them play better, I guess, and make it a lot easier for other teams going to play against Motherwell. Well, let's move on to your 6th.
This could be a controversial one. I've got Hibs.
Hibs? Interesting.
I just feel like they're not going to be. Obviously, they started to drop off a wee bit to the end of last season, dropping down in the table. I just don't feel like they're going to be up there. I feel like Aberdeen will tip them this season. They're bringing in a lot of people. Aberdeen, I feel like they'll do better than Hibs.
Obviously, Hibs losing Josh Doig to Verona for $3 million, which is obviously a big loss for them.
Yeah.
Matt Macy has went, and Paul McGinn. A quality keeper, you could say, on his day.
I know, a lot of stick Matt Macy's received. does
adjust
pull up
maybe.
some good saves, but he is quite mistake prone.
Well, obviously signing David Marshall, Aidan McGeady, Ewan Henderson on loan from Celtic, not on loan. A couple they've added the striker from St Gallen. So hopefully they'll do well. Well, I've got them doing very well, but I think they'll have a good season. So
who's in your sixth spot?
Sixth, I've got Aberdeen. I was tempted to swap them with Motherwell, but I think they'll just do better than Motherwell. Obviously, no Europe. Last season finishing very, very poor. Obviously getting rid of their manager halfway through the season. Christian Ramirez deciding not to play for him, and he looked set to be leaving Aberdeen this season. And he stayed.
He stayed.
That's a shock. That had me shocked.
Good signing.
Obviously,
staying on.
Yeah, I think he's a quality player. Aberdeen, you know, I think they've got a good squad.
Yeah, they've brought in a good few faces. Liam Scales, who came in from Celtic on loan. He's shown at times for Celtic he could be that quality left back. He's came in pre-season. I've seen a few of his games. He's played centre back. He's looked quite impressive, strong, physical, but he can play with the ball at his feet. Obviously, they brought in Anthony Stewart from Wycombe. Wycombe's previous captain. He's now going to be the captain this season. Controversial, first season coming in, he's going to be the captain of the club.
Yeah.
But he's a strong towering centre back. He's played in a physical league in the Championship. I think they've made some good signings, and I can see why you've put them in that sixth spot, but for me, I've got them in fifth.
Well, I've got them down there because they've lost their two main man, Karen Ramsey, which we could say it's alright, went to Liverpool for about 4.5 million. You know, I think he probably should have stayed because he's going to play right back up to Trent, which doesn't really get injured.
And obviously a big one that they've lost, Lewis Ferguson.
Obviously Lewis Ferguson.
Not too long ago completed his move to Italy again. A lot of Scottish youngsters going to Italy. Josh Doig, Ferguson, Hickey obviously progressing well. He's went to Brentford now, Hickey.
Yeah, well, I think you see Lewis Ferguson, he is only 22 and it's crazy to think that as well. You know, I think it's going to be a big miss. Do I think Jim Goodwin has the quality to get him into the top four? Nah, not for me.
Yeah, for me, you know, it's at Mirren he showed really good football, Jim Goodwin, and the style he played, but it's not clicked at Aberdeen. Obviously finishing where they finished last season, not in a good spot. Hopefully they're going to build on that, but I do agree, I don't think they're going to do that well. I've obviously got them in fifth. Who's your fifth?
Well, I've got Dundee United. You could say, well, they were pretty good last season, but I think they've obviously signed Stephen Fletcher.
Big one, Dylan.
Big Dylan.
Dylan Levitt from Manchester United.
I think
on loan
that's
last
a
season.
big signing for them.
Very good for them. Scored a really good goal against Celtic.
Kind of surprised that he came back. I thought he might have moved on to maybe England, lower Championship maybe. I think he's a really good player for them. But obviously the team's getting older. They've lost their two goalkeepers. Obviously Seagraves.
Went to Celtic indeed, yep. They've played in pre-season with, can't remember his first name, but I'm pretty sure it's Eriksson, Swedish keeper on net. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter a few days ago the Charlie Mulgrew half volley from miles out on goal.
Yes, that was quite
bit of a howler, but we all know Mulgrew's got an eye for goal, so
obviously he's good at his free kicks and his corners and all that. So
also losing Lewis Nielsen to Hearts, I feel like that's a big loss. He's a very big prospect. You know, Celtic were interested a few seasons ago, not obviously jumping at it, a few teams in England. However, he's went to Hearts. I think that's a good signing for Hearts for development for future. He can play centre back, can do a job at right back, and he can play a wee bit in the holding midfield. So I think that's a big loss for them. But they brought in a few experienced heads, and Craig Sibbald from Livingston, and as you said, Stephen Fletcher from Stoke. I feel like they'll do a job and do good enough. For me, I've got them in fourth. I know you said fifth. I've got them in fourth. Touching on those bases, I feel like they'll do quite well this season.
Well, I've got Hibs in fourth. I think they're going to have a comeback season. You know, I think they'll be competing with Hearts. Obviously, Hearts missing out in Europe could be, you know, quite devastating for them. But I've got Hibs fourth. I think they've signed quality players. I think the manager's quite good. Obviously, was it Sunderland for a bit and then got sacked, but it's like Sunderland who doesn't get sacked. So I've got them fourth. I think they've got a good team, a good squad. I think that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Hibs, the players that they've lost, I know it's not too many people, maybe not enough quality, but they've lost people that I feel like could do jobs for them in the team, their overall squad. They've brought in a few people they're not quite proven yet. You think Ellie Ewan from St Gallen, obviously Rocky Bourashi's back from Norwich this season, although they did say on Twitter that he was away, obviously, but there's a clause in the contract where if he plays so many games, he signs permanently. And a few days later they announced the signing of him. They've brought in Yari Tavernez, I think, from Benfica's B team.
Yes. Does look an interesting signing.
You know, obviously Jota's came through the ranks at Celtic from Benfica and the B
yeah.
team, but I think this guy, he's not really proven. David Marshall, we've seen he's fallen off a few times, dropping out the Scotland squad,
yeah.
and from the QPR he's away. Aid McGeady's an old head, you know, back in his day the trips were unbelievable. He was a good player, but he's dropped off a wee bit.
I don't think he'll have a much impact playing, but I feel like having that leader, he's been there, done it at Hibs, obviously playing
in the past,
in the past, and playing in England. I think he's been there, done it. I think also at Celtic, he's had experience. I think he'd be a good face for the younger people. I think David Marshall. I think obviously Scotland was a lot of pressure for him. I reckon maybe a bit too much, people might say, but I think on his day he's a good goalkeeper. I think maybe sometimes unjust stick in the Scotland squads, but obviously compared to Craig Gordon, it was missions apart from each other.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us on to our fourth. I've got third, my bad.
Third, yeah. I feel like we can both agree on this one.
I've got Hearts.
I've got Hearts.
Obviously, last season losing the Scottish Cup final against Rangers, and obviously I think the third best team in Scotland.
At the moment, we don't want to get too controversial.
Yes,
there, you know.
we might.
We're open to all.
Yes, but I feel like they've got a quality manager, they've got quality players. They've not lost anyone. Obviously Sims isn't there, but he also talked about him going to Rangers, but I don't really see that one happening. But
yeah, it's a big loss for them.
That is a big loss.
Because a vital part last season they did very well. I don't know how they're going to manage. You know, they've not really brought in a striker of sort. They've still got Liam Boyce, however, you well know his quality. He can get goals.
But I feel like need something up there with them.
Yeah.
Cause
that's how they played so well last season, finishing third by a good margin, I'd say.
They also signed Alex Cochrane back from Brighton. Got him a permanent. I think last season he was a quality player.
Fits the system well with Kingsley. The overlap, obviously Kingsley's a left back in his day at Hull. He's been this left centre back. He can progress. He's got good set pieces, as we've seen. I think they works very well. However, they have lost a big name at the back. John Suter going to Rangers on a free. I think the big loss for them is they've lost it in money, because they probably could have got about £4 million, I'd say.
Yeah, he has a quality player on his day, but however that injury record does hold him back. But
they've not really lost too much besides that. Obviously Sims on loan, but the outgoings, just Jamie Brandon to Livingston and Jamie Walker to Bradford, they hadn't really played much in that system.
So
and Robbie Nelson, so
not sure I lost for him, but you know, I think the signing of Aaron Forrest, I think he's going to be really good for them. So
I've seen the Kai Rolls from Central Coast in Australia. From what I've seen, obviously I was trying to do a wee bit of research on my Australian just to Ange Postecoglou. If you hadn't known, I'm a Celtic fan, by the way. He looks a good player. He's good in the tackle, he's good progressing with the ball. I feel like he's going to fit this Heart system well. I don't know if he's going to be the replacement for Suter, if they're going to bring somebody else in, but I feel like he might play that main centre back role.
Have a solid impact maybe.
Indeed.
Well, I think this might be a wee bit predictable now. Second, who you got?
I think we should easily both agree on this one.
Well, depends who you're looking for.
I mean, 100% it's got to be Rangers.
Rangers?
100%.
I have Celtic in a second, but
no chance, man.
Well,
why have you got Celtic?
Let's just go through it. Celtic, obviously signing likes of Jota back, who's been unreal for them.
Tremendous player. Did you see his wee flick?
I did see that.
Wow, he's special.
People might say Hadji does it better, but who knows?
Never seen Hadji that.
Obviously they also signed Cameron Carter from
Big
Tottenham.
player coming back. very well last season, helped us win the league.
The left back.
Alexandre Bernabeu. Not seen too much from him previously, but obviously I've seen the pre-season games. I think he'll still need to suit. When you see him on the ball carrying is very good, especially in the inverted role that Ange likes to play. He can drive with the ball, however, he's a wee bit out position. He's got the pace to make it back, but I'm not really seeing too much of him. I'm still waiting to see more. I don't know if he's going to start with Greg Taylor at left back at the start of the season against Aberdeen. Might play Alexandre Bernabeu because he's played some games, but I think it's hit and miss. It's whoever's spot to take over. I don't think there's a certified starter. Obviously, Maeda making his loan a permanent, which we already knew was happening, but now he's in the club for a permanent basis. He's not had too much game time in pre-season, but we know what he offers. The pace, he doesn't stop running, especially what Ange likes in his system. It just works well. I think that's what helped us win the league last season, and obviously upgrading our backup keeper in Benjamin Siegrist. So I'm very happy with the window so far. I like another centre back to come in and another CDM to come in, but I feel like this strong enough squad.
Obviously there was talks of Julian leaving to Schalke. Obviously that just kind of broke down.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's not shown enough.
I feel quite bad for the guy because before he got his injury, he was a
tremendous player.
Great player.
But he said he wanted to go. Now he's staying. He wants to fight for his role. I don't see him having a chance. You know, Stephen Welsh started the game yesterday, which looked to be most of our strongest squad, I'd say. And Julian came on after Boslin Lowell. He looks a good prospect coming on in centre back. So I'm not sure if Julian's Celtic career is going to go much longer. Depends if clubs actually want him, of course, but I feel like he might be in the B team a lot because he said he doesn't want to sit on the bench. He either wants to play or he's not going to be there. So for me, he might have to go. Obviously, we've lost a few players.
Rogic.
Vital players, Tom Rogic. Oh, don't bring it up. It's very upsetting, man.
Obviously.
Vasilis Barkas, big loss.
Well, some people
big
might say it's a big loss, but others might say it's a release for them.
Yeah, I'm only really upset with Rogic and Beaton leaving. Obviously, Ewan Henderson was going to leave anyway. His loan was obviously going to be turned permanent. Callum Dembele,
is it really?
I don't know how to feel about that because he was one of the best prospects coming in at 16-17. But Neil Lennon, he didn't get the game time. He got his injuries, came back in a few times, and when Ange played him this season, I can't remember who it was against. It was quite at the start of the season. He did quite well, but obviously the injury, he's been out. I think it was his time to go, just for his sake.
Obviously, being at Celtic for ages, long time. Obviously, people hyping up since he's been 14, 15 years old. It hasn't worked, but best luck to the guy. Best luck to him.
I feel like we should talk about Rangers, why I've got them second. I just feel like the squad that they're bringing in, not to say they're almost nobodies, because the way Ange has brought in players from Japan, he obviously knows them well, but we don't really know them well.
Yes.
John Suter's also been brought in as a good sign. You brought Kolak in. From pre-season, what I've seen, he's not shown too much. I'm pretty sure he got a goal yesterday against whoever it was, but
Blackpool.
It was offside. Blackpool, it was.
I think Kolak, he's a quality player. He obviously got that chance against Blackburn. The only chance he really got, scored it, obviously wee bit offside, but I feel like the link up between Tavernier and Kolak, it's going to be really good.
It should come. Tavernier's
obviously,
set pieces delivery is very good.
Obviously, Morelos being injured, might miss the start of the season, but it might.
Do you think he'll go this season?
It's either Kent or Morelos for me. I think one of them's going to sign a
I'd
contract.
much rather Kent goes, just obviously obvious reasons. Morelos, is not.
I think Morelos. If I had to choose, I reckon Kent goes, because against Blackpool he played angry. He doesn't play that enough. He's too relaxed at times.
Hit and miss, the skill running, the way his pace, he can skin people is very good, but his end product's not all there. It's vital to how you play, yes, but it's.
But I feel like he can. I think Morelos is a bit harder to replace. I think his all-round game, especially in Europe last season, as you saw.
Yeah, he's really helped us in Europe previous seasons.
Exactly.
Getting us through it.
But obviously, Joe Rebo, big miss as well.
Big loss.
Obviously, 6 million. Plus
Calvin Bassey.
Calvin Bassey, but looks to be set to leave.
22 million euros, 25, 27 has been rumoured, different people, clauses.
Alright, it's a good deal for Alex, I reckon.
It's a good deal for you. Obviously he did very well to the end of last season, but I don't think he's all that. Very good playing at his strengths, the pace. He gets tight quick for people who are either going to kick it. He's strong, he's fast, he knows what he's doing.
I think Ajax will improve much from the ball. I think he'll become a better centre half, and I reckon.
You know, if you think Ajax, their centre half, Staley Blind, they're losing Lazaro, Martinez, they can all play in a holding midfield role.
I think
they're comfortable in other positions. They're all ball carrying. You know.
I think that's where Bass is going to step his game up, which I think it's a good move for the man. It's obviously 22. I think 25. He'll go to the Premier League, smash it. Obviously, bring Rangers some moolah back.
Touching on Kent, the fact you said you'd rather leave him. Obviously, you brought in Tom Lawrence and Ravi Matondo. Kind of unknown players. Obviously, Matondo's been at Schalke, but he's not really shown much. Tom Lawrence, Derby
last season, captain.
Yeah, he got relegated. From what I've heard from Derby fans, hit and miss player, but
I think last season he really stepped up for them.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he's inconsistent, but he can win a game, and I feel like once he gets drilled in with this system in Rangers, that could fit us down to a T. But
have you seen some of his long shots, by the way?
It's not bad in a set piece either.
He isn't too bad. Also, Matondo coming in and Tillman coming from Bayern Munich on loan. I think that's a quality player. He's only 20, USA international. I think Bayern's got a buyback clause in it. Not too sure, but that's what I've heard. So maybe.
Do you feel like this Rangers squad's good enough to win the league so far? Or do you feel like new additions need to come in? Because obviously you've lost Balogun. Bassey's going. You don't really have much backup at left back. Kind of the other centre back role.
Bassey looks like he's left. I reckon if they go a left back needed, maybe Bassey's time to leave. But last game he did look against Blackpool. He did look really good. I think a centre half is needed. Hollander, too injury prone. Katic, love the big man, but I think his time has. I think we moved on as a club. He's kind
of past it, but he's kind of fighting his way back in. He's not going to quit this easy. Croatian blood in him. But just need to see what happens from there.
Well, that's the league predictions.
Any predictions for who wins the cups?
Well, I reckon.
Just throw that out there.
Well, I think you might. We might know who's going to say, but I reckon Hibs. I know Hibs. Hearts will win one cup. I think I might win the Premier Sport Cup.
I think Celtic will win the Premier Sports and Rangers will win the Scottish Cup.
I'd take the Scottish Cup. It's quite nice.
Actually, I'd say the other way about because obviously Celtic's got the Champions League football. They might when they're rotating the squad, people might go at them, might be inconsistent.
Yeah, also Champions League, big thing. Also, Hearts missing it in Europe, must be gutted about it. I think Rangers will probably win the Scottish Cup as well, and I think Rangers will win the league. And obviously, you think Celtic will.
Yeah, I think it'll be a playoff of last season. You know, we've only strengthened our team really. Obviously, Tom Rogic, big loss. Beaton, big loss. Versatile player, squad player, but with bringing in new people, I feel like the way Ange plays in Champions League, we can either get battered or it might cause a wee bit of havoc. Because you know, we seen last season he didn't back down. He still played the same system. It was entertaining football.
Obviously, Champions League, you don't know who you're going to get drawn again. Barcelona, Real Madrid, who knows?
Yeah, no, Liverpool pot 2, they're not even pot 1 now.
Exactly.
Real Madrid, it will be a really tough time, Champions League, but I'm excited to.
Also, it'd be good for the fans. You know, losing 7-1 to Real Madrid and all that. Might not be too bad, but obviously let's just move on to Manager of the Year. I think this might be a wee bit simple.
Well, I don't think you could put Gio.
Well, I think Gio in Europe has showed like his quality, so I think this week in the league he's been a bit hit and miss. Like similar to Gerrard, you could say.
Yeah, if he gets that consistency going, he could do really well.
In there. Obviously, Ange. I think if he wins, if he does well in Europe, and also won it last year.
Yep.
But if he wins the league, I don't think you can really give it to him because Celtic are probably better in the league than Rangers.
Well, I mean, you were meant to win it this season or last season.
But he done very well. But I think his football suits the league more than Europe. But I think if he does well in Europe and wins the league, I think you can only give it to him, which is probably fair.
Yeah, we'll just need to see. Obviously, I've got Ange Postecoglou. I don't think any team in the league, unlike what happened a few seasons ago with St Johnstone, Callum Davidson, obviously winning the 2 cups unexpected. I don't even think he won it in the end, did he? Was it Gerrard that won it?
No, Gerrard won it, I think.
Yeah, biggest scam. Oh, obviously, I think if Ange gets the team playing how we did that, I think it was 32 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's when
Started
started
the
because
season.
the team actually got gelled in.
Yeah.
I feel like if they start playing the football they're playing, they'll be consistent. Obviously, might come down to old firms.
Yeah, last season it felt like every Old Firm was a big game until you slapped us 2-0. Jules first Old Firm, pretty sure it was.
Yeah, and then he came settled in with Becky's obviously again at Rocks to 1
Rocks.
Carter Vickers won the league, big centre back.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's won in the cup,
Yeah,
which is very upsetting. However, I feel like if he gets the team going how he wants, he's only going to add players. He said he wants to still add a few players to the team. He's only going to improve it. So I think overall, we'll have the best season that Ange will win.
Well, let's move on to Player of the Year. I've got I think there's only one man that could be it, which is James Tavernier. Before you say, let me just pull up the stats for James Tavernier. Last season, total games, 58 games, 18 goals, 17 assists. I think in the SPFL, he played 31 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. I think he's a quality player, he's a captain of Rangers. I think every season he's just getting better and better and better. And if he wins the league, a cup, in maybe a Europa League final return, maybe, I reckon he'd be really good. He's going to be fantastic. Also against Blackpool, I saw him the other day. Can't really judge him against Sunderland. Only played like half an hour.
Yeah.
Well, only what we could see. Last season, well, obviously defensively isn't the best, but going forward, what he brings to the team, I think he's a really solid player.
Yeah, I thought his goal contributions would have dropped off quite significantly under Gio, because the way he plays, if one fullback goes, the other one kind of sits, almost like you see Pep, how he has Kyle Walker coming inside,
Yeah.
providing that cover, but he's still got about goals contribution wise, especially in Europe, the games against Dortmund, seniors through it, does very well.
Also penalties to help.
Yep, stat pads. However, for me, I've got Kyogo.
Right, which...
Actually, I don't think he will.
Well,
And now that I'm thinking of it, obviously he did very, very well last
Obviously
season, and he was injured.
20 goals last season.
Yeah.
Out of 32 and got 2 assists. I think obviously he missed...
He was injured for a
injured.
good period, and he came back. He wasn't instantly going back because he's just coming back into the team from injury. But I feel like if he has a full injury-free season, he might really excel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think obviously Kyogo's a quality player. Also him competing with Giacomakis, I think some games might suit him than others. Obviously Jota, Maeda, all in the wings, so it's going to be quite
I don't know how he's going to play it this
tough.
year.
Tough places.
I actually think Celtic's better off with a front three of Jota, Giacomakis and probably Abada. Depends on how they play. Maeda could play on the right.
Obviously most Celtic fans look for our striker to come in as probably a backup for Giacomakis and Kyogo, which I don't know if you agree with that.
To be honest, I don't think we need another striker at the moment. Obviously, it's nice to have new faces, especially up front, see what you can get. We've got Johnny Kenny from Sligo Rovers last year, very young, obviously playing in the B team, but if we needed someone to step up, I feel like he'd play. Abada can play up front, either. We've got options still.
Well, let's move on to signing of the year. You went for a bit of a...
There's only one man.
You went for... I'll let you say it.
The main man, Jota.
Which you can say...
Not a cop-out, don't even.
It's a wee bit of a cop-out. Obviously last season in the SPFL getting some goals and 8 assists, but in total...
He was injured for a wee bit as well.
He was injured. He got 13 goals and 14 assists in his total games, which
he was tremendous at the start and midway through. Obviously he dropped off a wee bit, especially when he got injured, and coming back from his injury wasn't amazing, but it's just the little stuff that he does against Dundee where he's just dragging it. A game against Blackburn yesterday, he was just skipping through players. It was so good to watch. And
it's obviously about the tricks and the flair. And
exactly, and it's not just that. He gets goal contributions, he provides help to the team. Also, we won the league last year. He said that was a factor in him coming back. He enjoyed that. Playing at Celtic Park, the atmosphere, all the fans.
It looked unsure if he would sign back.
I was reported he was meant to come back quite early, and then it prolonged the long. We got Carter Vickers before that, and I was starting to worry, but I'm just very glad he's back, and I think he'll be the signing of the year.
Well, I went for Rangers and you, number 9.
Oh,
Kolak.
no chance.
Well, I had Ravi Matondo and then I had Tillman. I was swapping between them. I was thinking outside of Rangers and Celtic. No one's really.
It's very hard to win
tackled,
something like that.
exactly.
Even Charles Cook didn't win it this year. In
Exactly.
the season that he had.
Couldn't say was robbed, but who knows. I've got Kolak. Also, last season wasn't the greatest.
I don't think Kolak's going to win it, if I'm being honest. I'll let you put your
I'll let-
reasonings, but
Yes, but I think what I've seen with him, obviously one game, I think he just looks complete. His passing is a bit iffy, but I reckon last season he only got 8 goals and 2 assists, but his total career stats, 363 games, 148 goals and 41 assists. I think he's shown all around Europe that he's a quality player. Obviously last season didn't have the desired time at Malmo and getting a loan into the Croatian league. So yeah, I think he would kick on, have a good start. Oh, I think Morelos will probably be number 9. It'll be number 9.
yeah, because obviously he's played one striker.
Yeah.
Who would you have up front? Because I
I don't
think
know.
it's got to be Morelos. As
Also,
much as I
yeah.
don't like the guy, I'm a Celtic
He
fan,
is
but
he is a quality player, but if Morelos goes, I think Kolak could.
I think
do the
Morelos
job.
has to go. I don't see him signing a new contract.
Oh.
You know, he tried to force his way to Lille a few seasons
Yeah,
back
true.
when he agreed terms before the club even agreed
Yeah.
terms, and you know he's still here.
But is that paper
Him.
talk? Who knows?
Who
We're
knows?
not too sure of these reports these days, but let's move on
Is he
to
a young player of the year?
young player. Yeah.
Under,
I've got
let's just clarify, under 23s.
yes. We have. I had Lewis Ferguson, but then
Obviously he's a
he
way
left, and I had Josh Zoig. He left. I was like, great. Then I had Alex Lowry.
See, I'm not gonna lie, my predictions are quite Celtic heavy.
Yeah.
Not trying to be biased as a Celtic fan, however, I just feel like this is going to be the right answer. I've got a badder.
Badly.
The
Yeah.
goal contributions he had last year, goals and assists, is
Yeah.
very good. First season from Israel, 19. Obviously, might be a wee change this year. I don't know if he'll be better or worse losing Beaton. Beaton helped
Obviously
him quite a
getting
lot this year.
double-digit goals and
Exactly.
assists, 15 goals, 11 assists in all
You know,
competitions.
he lost his buds
That's true.
and he got it back.
Well, we can say, yeah, love story you can say, but I've got the new signing, Ravi Matondo, from.
I don't think he'll start though.
Well,
I don't know
Well,
what system.
I've seen
Obviously,
him-
Haji's out injured coming
Obviously,
back,
yes.
but he
I-
might start at the
I
start.
think he could. Well, Rangers, since Candace has left many seasons ago, most Rangers fans would agree that they've not really had that right winger that's as good as Kent. We've played Hadji there, we played Roof there.
Aribo's kind of played
Aribo,
there a wee bit,
yeah.
obviously he's away, but
Under Gerrard, but I think Ravi, he's lightning quick.
do you
That
not
boy,
think Tom Lawrence will play there?
I think he'll play more off the left. Obviously, Kent leaving. That's where he played against pre-season. I think
If Kent does leave,
yes.
do you not think he'll play the right? Matondo
Nah.
might play left.
Nah, I think Matondo is the right man and the right wing for Rangers.
I like that one.
Did you?
I
I'm
did.
glad. I'm glad. He also grabbed 10 goals, 2 assists. He doesn't really look for the pass that much, which Diallo did that last season. He kind of went for goals, and obviously Diallo didn't really work. But I reckon Ravi Matondo has it all, but will he show it?
Would you say you've had a better window this year than last year? Because obviously you brought in Diallo,
Diallo.
who's
That was in
who
January.
you would probably say
As a quality
before
player.
coming in would be a better signing than Matondo or Lawrence. Obviously,
That's true.
Man U, the price tag they paid from
That's true.
Atalanta. They've obviously you got Ramsey in.
Jamie Sands. Jamie
Love
Sands.
Aaron Ramsey, that penalty miss.
Yeah, that was.
God,
You know, I don't.
what a time.
Yeah, that was interesting times to be fair, but obviously, James Sands stayed on until January. I don't think Rangers will look to buy him, but he'll be a useful player.
Does the job when he
Does
comes
the
in.
job. That he played centre half yesterday for a bit with Golson. Did the job.
Balogun's away, Settles not
Yeah.
in Bath, he's probably
I
away.
reckon another centre half and a left back for Rangers would be loving life, but obviously you got a badder quality player.
Yeah.
Let's move on to surprise team. I'll go for mine, then you can hit with your lacklustre one. I went for Hibs obviously last season finishing above Aberdeen, but both of them poor, really poor.
It's a tough one because obviously you'd expect him to be third, fourth
Yeah.
position, but obviously the season they had prior, it's not very good.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got them predicted sixth. I think you said what, fourth.
Fourth, yes.
So that's probably where they should be, but based off of last season, you could say that's surprising coming back to where they probably should be. The signs they made, the football they played, I'm not too sure. I've got them sixth for that reason. My surprise team's Dundee United.
Which
Obviously they've lost the manager Tam Coates. A
Yes.
few of their players have went, a few of the players have stayed. It's a good side. I feel like they're building something to progressively, maybe the next 5-10 years they'll be that third, fourth team consistently. I just feel like that's where they're going to be. I've got them in fourth. I don't know how they're going to play this season because they've lost the manager, but they play exciting football at times.
At times. But I think they know how to get the win at the times. But I think
obviously the Rangers victory,
yes.
pretty much at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, also ending Rangers unbeaten run.
From the previous season.
Yeah. I could say. Well,
what have you got for underwhelming team then?
Underwhelming team I've got for Aberdeen. Also my predictions, I put them 6th.
Yeah.
I think they've lost quality players, as I said.
Another tricky one.
Lewis Ferguson, and Ramsey, which isn't too bad for them. But Aberdeen, I think they're having a poor season, and I don't see Jim Goodwin lasting the full year.
I see where you're coming from. I actually don't think he will either. I feel like he'll struggle at the start, pick up some points and then drop off again. The players will start to become unhappy, the dressing room. You got a big loss in the dressing room, Scott Brown. Obviously, Aberdeen fans. Exactly, at Fleetwood. He's been criticised over the years, but when he was in the team, all the Aberdeen fans loved him, how he played, the desire, the passion. That's what we got from Celtic, that's why we loved him so much. He wasn't the whole player, but he was certainly
did a job, player. And that's a job that he filled.
Good luck to him at Fleetwood.
Yes, best luck.
My underwhelming team, I've got Hibs. You alright there?
Yes. Joking on the water.
My underwhelming team, I've got Hibs. I don't think they're going to do as well as you think this season. I think they're going to finish 6th.
They'll get the job done. Obviously,
it might not be that underwhelming from last season, obviously, but it's hard to pick an underwhelming team because I was tempted with St Mirren just because I feel like they should probably be 8th, 9th, 10th position, but I'm predicting them to go down in 11th through the playoffs. But yeah, not much reasoning besides what we talked about earlier.
Well, let's just move on to the top goal scorers.
Clean sheets first?
Clean sheets? Well, I'm just going to say
Golden Glove.
Golden, well, I'll you can hit yours first.
I've got Joe Hart. As I said, Celtic heavy, but there's a reason for it. Best defensive record in the league last year. You know, it was a brick wall, a partnership with him, Carter Vickers and Starfelt, did very well. Obviously in Europe, there's a lot of goals conceded, but that's how we play. And to minimise them in the league, yes, there's less quality we're playing against, but I feel like some of the saves he did pull out at certain times were massive. And for a player letting goals, it wasn't the best at carrying the ball or with the ball at his feet. I feel like he's done quite well.
Definitely improved his time under Ange. We could say was maybe he should have won it last year over Craig Gordon, which some people might agree.
Yeah, I mean Craig Gordon, he did a great job last season. As much as I did like him, and I feel he's turned a bit of a twat a wee bit.
Nah, well, some people might say that. Obviously, his time at Celtic will be cherished and loved. People did maybe say he was done a bit too early. Obviously,
I feel like he left at the right time.
Yeah, obviously did well for Scotland, becoming Scotland number 1 over likes of obviously John McLaughlin. If he's number 1 for Rangers, could challenge Craig Gordon for the Scotland number 1, but I reckon Scotland manager will just say it's his spot, his number 1. So that's why I've got Craig Gordon as getting top clean sheets. Obviously, I think he'll.
I think Rangers are going to concede more goals than.
Well, I was waiting for a bit of a different. I could have just said John McLaughlin stroke Al McGregor.
Yeah, but you obviously don't know who's.
You don't know who's going to be number 1. So
Al McGregor playing most pre-season games. Don't know if he's going to be the number 1 again this year. Only signed a 1-year contract, so it looks like they're just signing him on until he retires.
Yes.
Probably.
Well, people might say, will it ever retire? That's the issue.
Hopefully not, because he's rubbish.
Well, obviously last season wasn't amazing, but in Europe, I think he shows his time there. But yeah, I've got Craig Gordon as.
I can't lie, he is a good keeper all this time. As much as he exaggerates the saves, he's top quality saves at times.
Yeah, let's move on to the top goal scorer.
Final one, top goal scorer. Who have you got?
I've got Kyogo.
Do you actually?
I do.
I thought you might win a Kolak or something.
Nah, I reckon. I think Kyogo's gonna have if he's injury free. Also compete with Gio Marcus.
So yeah, I changed this one.
Did you?
From Kyogo.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I have Kyogo also getting 20 goals last season. He said the minimum he wants this season is 20 goals. So he's full of
He
confidence.
could easily get it.
I reckon.
He's a player. His quality's up there, so he's easily going to get it if he stays injury free.
I just think he's a good player. Morelos, Roof looks maybe he's going. Gio doesn't really fancy him. Obviously not physical number 9.
Yeah, he's
Can't
not in the shout.
He's not really.
What about a Boyce? Do you think Boyce?
Boyce?
I feel like he might drop off based off of the striker loss into Ellis Sims. He
I
played
think
really
if
well
Sims
last
comes
season.
back, obviously he did well. He also took the penalties for Hearts. Got a lot of goals last season. But I think it's just going to be Kyogo.
Any surprise ones? Obviously Charles Cook this year, or last season, sorry.
Obviously Aberdeen signed a couple of strikers, signed the guy from Benfica, Lopez or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Not so sure about him, and then they also signed.
I feel like it's hard for any other team besides Celtic
yeah.
Rangers to be in a shout.
Nisbet, Doige.
Nisbet's been off it for a good few
He's
seasons now.
Maybe he should have went to Sunderland when he could have, but yeah. Who you got for top goal scorer?
I've got Yakilakis. Again, Celtic heavy on most of the predictions, but I just feel like there's reason for that.
Reason because he got 17 goals last season, in the league, and he got 9 goals, obviously showing his quality.
He was injured for a point and he didn't get most game times. Obviously Kyogo was starting and the team Maeda played through the middle sometimes. He was injured at the start, he wasn't really starting. He came in and obviously it was a bit hit and miss. We weren't sure at the time, but that, like, the last minute goals against, who was it again? It was at Celtic Park. I actually can't even remember, but took his top off, the images.
Love and life. Yeah.
I mean, I don't swing that way, but he's very handsome, man.
Well, let's move on to the Game Week 1 fixture predictions, obviously.
We start with Livy Rangers,
Yeah,
Hearts, Ross County. What one do you want?
Well, we'll start with Livingston Rangers. I think Rangers will win this comfortably.
Yeah, so do I.
I've put Rangers 2, Livingston 0.
See, for me, I've got Rangers 3, Livingston 1.
Oh.
I feel like they might get a goal. That physicality, the first game of the season, they're not going to want to give in so easy. Rangers, I don't know if they'll struggle. Usually, first game of the season, they either struggle really heavily or they do very well.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll get 2 early goals. Livy might get 1 back and there might be a later goal for Rangers again, just to seal the deal.
Yeah, I think Rangers will march on for the title this year. Maybe Champions League as well, but I think if they get Champions League, that'll be a very successful season. Obviously, like Zabasi, Aribo missing, Kent, Morelos futures up. Hopefully their deal or get sorted out before they go. I think Gio, if you get back the right way, only see one result here. That's how Rangers win.
Yeah, do you think if they get Champions League football, they'll both stay and sell maybe January?
Well, I think the whole point of Morelos and Kent want to leave to play Champions League football, and if you get that, they might sign a contract, and then maybe they might have a release clause in their contract.
Yeah, it's very hard to say because obviously he's done well in Europe last year, Europa. And they played parts of that.
Yes.
Kent could play in the Prem the way he plays. He could play in bigger leagues, higher leagues, obviously.
I think in Europe last season, especially against Dortmund, obviously the first league Dortmund didn't really. I think they came with a lack of respect for Rangers.
Yeah, he showed the quality.
And he showed how quality he was.
I think that's the way Dortmund play. I don't actually rate them as highly as, obviously you might say that because it's against. If it was Celtic, you'd say the other way, but
yeah.
But it's just the way they play. It's like they don't defend properly.
Yeah.
They just have so many numbers going forward, yet they didn't do anything with it against you. It was obviously played the system, dropping into a back five. Lundstrom did well, but
Lundstrom also this year. Last season, we started off the season under Gerrard, inconsistent, but I think this season
wasn't the best. And then
wasn't the best, but I think this season he would just push on and.
I think he had a point to prove after the stick he was just receiving.
Definitely. You can see that against.
Probably one of your players of the season.
Yes, you could.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Hearts versus Ross County.
I've got 2-1 Hearts.
2-1 Hearts. I've got 3-1 Hearts.
I think Ross County might get an early goal.
Well.
And Hearts will reply early, and then it'll be prolonged for about 60 minutes. Hearts will get the goal and then see it out.
I think if this was away, I think a bit more of a 1-0.
Yeah.
Scuffy game.
Tynecastle, it'll be struggle for them, especially with the team they have.
Yeah. The quality.
They've not improved it as much as they've lost.
I think Hearts will obviously be Heart.
Malky Mackay's a very good manager though.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
works well with what he's got, especially what he's seen last season, his first year
Celtic, man.
at Ross County. But
I think Hearts have just got quality in every position. I think they're just missions level in every else apart from Rangers and Celtic.
there's a reason they were comfortably third last
Yes,
season.
that's
So.
obviously. Let's move on to Kilmarnock versus Dundee United.
I think this is going to be a tighter one. I've only got 1-0 to Dundee United.
Dundee.
I feel like Kilmarnock coming back up, obviously I predict them 10th, just staying up, so I feel like these games against Dundee United, obviously I think they'll do well. It will be tight. Just waiting to see how Dundee United play. Obviously they lost to Sunderland in pre-season,
Yeah.
and then obviously you lost to them at 30.
But it was well,
Power Cup,
yeah,
but
technical issues.
yeah, I feel like Kilmarnock, they'll want to give it a good go, especially at the start of the season, just to show teams that they aren't just a walkover. Dundee United will want to do well, and I feel like it'll be tight. I don't know, maybe a 20 watt goal.
Well, obviously his move from Motherwell to Dundee United hasn't really done the job. You know, obviously a bit inconsistent, maybe getting used to the team. I think Motherwell, he's the star man, bit of a shock move, him moving in January. I think maybe this year he might kick on. But for this game, I've got Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 1.
I was thinking that.
I think Rugby Park's tough place to go. I reckon the manager,
Obviously the plastic pitch
come
might
back
play a
Scottish
part in
football.
it.
No one wants that, but
No one wants that.
it's disgusting. They should be relegated this season. If that's my
Hopefully
opinion.
they do,
Hopefully
but I've
they
not
do.
predicted that.
But we've not predicted that, so hopefully they don't, and they get that pitch sorted out. But I think Kilmarnock will stay up because they've got that home advantage. The fans getting behind them. Obviously, last season against Arbroath.
I think the fans will be excited to see them in the
see them
Premiership,
back.
just because they were kind of a consistent-ish Premiership team.
Yeah.
Getting relegated is a bit of a shock, and I think the fans will really make the most of it this season
I
in
think
case
they
they go
will.
back down.
But yeah, 1-1.
I've got quite an exciting
game next.
St Mirren Motherwell.
Well, let's
I
see
don't
what
know
you
why
got.
I've done this, because now I'm looking at it and thinking it's a bit stupid. But I've got St Mirren 2, Motherwell 2.
Oh,
The
interesting.
goals in it, but I don't know why, because I've got St Mirren 11.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think they'll lose this game. I
No.
really don't, but I don't think they'll win it. So I predict
Also, St Mirren playing at home advantage. Case that for everyone, but
I think they'll get goals, and Motherwell, they won't want to lose it like that in that fashion, so I feel like they'll really force it. I think they'll go really attacking if they're losing, and then obviously
Motherwell fans debated with their manager. I think last season they wanted them out, and then they got results and he kind of stayed. And then
Stephen Robertson obviously getting them European football this season.
Yes, so I've went St Mirren 1 versus and Motherwell 2. I think Kevin Van Veen, I think it'll be his show. I think he'll just show his quality. I think St John's, I think they'll get an early goal. St Mirren might get, and then get another one, make it 2-0, and St Mirren might just get a wee lucky goal.
And I imagine a few seasons ago, a striker from Scunthorpe bagging the goals
Who
to win a game.
Who would predict
that? Scunthorpe of all places.
Well, let's move on to St Johnstone versus Hibs. I've got 1-0 Hibs.
I've got 2-1 Hibs. Because I think Hibs will be hit and miss at the start of the season, try to find their form. Obviously, I think St Johnstone are going to go straight down bottom. However, I feel like this is going to be a lot tighter than what people might imagine.
Yeah, I think I originally had 3-0 Hibs, but I don't think St Johnstone will lose a game 4-5-0. I don't think, or 3-0.
Yeah,
I think all the games would be tight with 1-1 draws or 2-2 draws, and maybe get 2-1 win every now and then. Also, I've got at the bottom. So I think Hibs will maybe grab a late goal, nick it. Also try and find their feet under the new manager. Lots of new players to bed in. So best luck to them.
Yeah, no so far.
No no's.
No scoreless draws. This last one, Celtic Aberdeen. Now, if Aberdeen play like Aberdeen could play, how we seen at Pittodrie last season with Jota getting that late goal to win it. Obviously, they've got quality there, Aberdeen. Whether they show it or not is a different question. I've got Celtic 2, Aberdeen 0.
Well, I was tempted. I think it's Aberdeen.
Obviously, Celtic best defensive record last season.
That's true.
Keeping the clean sheet. They're only building on what they've got. Aberdeen,
I think
they might struggle.
Obviously, losing 1-0 to Hearts first game of the season last year, and you felt the pressure.
Yep.
People weren't too sure, but I think this.
But then again, the squads, it wasn't built. Once it was built, that 32 unbeaten run came. So
I've got Celtic versus Aberdeen. I was going to say 6-0.
6.
I think.
I love my 6-0.
I think it was always first game of the season. It's always Celtic Rangers get a big win, and the other one usually gets a 2-1 or 1-0. I
remember that COVID season we played Hamilton. We won. I think it was 5-1.
Yeah. Well, I went for 2-0 Celtic. 3-0 Celtic.
3. Wouldn't mind that.
I think Kyogo will get a hat trick. I reckon.
I've
obviously picked him.
The league strong.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
See, if Celtic play the way they play, obviously we do get exposed quite a lot because the way we play it, offensively, the pressing.
But I think you can.
If Aberdeen capitalise on that, we could struggle to then break them down. But if they don't, I feel like it'll be a whitewash and it'll be really easy.
I think Aberdeen will struggle to get the ball. I think Celtic. I don't think their defence is amazing, so I reckon the Celtic pressure. They get a goal early, and then I think the floodgates open. 2, 3, and then depends if Celtic still are going for it or just want to just play out the game, see out the game. Obviously Gio did that last season, went to Hearts, got 2 early goals versus Hearts and just sat back. I don't know if Ange is really the manager to sit back and let their team rest because they never stop.
We never stop.
Apparently.
We never stop.
Only half time and full time, but I want to see Celtic win this. If Aberdeen get a 1-1, it's very impressive, but it also at Celtic Park, it's only 1-1. One result, and it's a Celtic win.
Hopefully so.
Yeah, I feel like I've just turned into the biggest, massive Celtic fan there ever will be.
Hail.
Well, anyway, that concludes the first episode of the Fitbaw Review Podcast. Oh, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time, Philly.
You as well. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching and listening. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.